Alright everyone, I'm here to give you my review of The Last Raw of 2014. Can't believe it's actually the last Raw of 2013. This is the last Raw, so let's make it count. This Raw happened on December 29th, 2014. And we have JBL, Michael Cole, and Jerry the Kinlaw on commentary. And this was a great Raw to end off 2014, I thought. I don't know what you thought, but I thought so. So it plays a video package for Edge and Christian because they're going to be running the show tonight, and it shows that night of when Edge had to announce his retirement because of his neck injury. It happened on April 11th, 2011, I believe, and they just want to announce that he was back. It's just, showing montages of what Edge and Christian did when they were together, but it's just kind of sad knowing that they're gone now. It's pretty sad. And then they come out though. Edge and Christian both come out. They come out to Edge's theme song. I kind of wish they could have come out to the theme song that they had though. When they were a tag team, but it didn't happen. And they talk about how they're gonna run things. That this show is gonna week of awesomeness. They announced that they're gonna have the Peep Show happen tonight, and Edge is like, the Peep Show? No, we're gonna have the Cutting Edge. So they go out back and forth. Edge even said did you call it the Peep Show because perverts wanted to spend a nickel to see only spend a nickel to see it, and Christian's like, yeah, that's exactly why I called it. So now they combine it. They're gonna call it the Cutting Edge Peep Show, and they're gonna have Seth Rollins as their guest, and they make some matches. They make Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, and champion versus champion match, Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler versus United States Champion Rusev. And they say for the benefit of those for flash photography, and everybody has them now because they have cell phones. And let's do a 5-second pose. They go to do the 5-second pose, and then Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out, and he says that he really doesn't want to have to hurt two people that are retired right now. So now we found out that Christian's retired. I actually didn't know this because I guess the concussions caught up to Christian, and he's retired now. He can't wrestle anymore. It's kind of sad. I actually did like Christian. I kind of wish he could have had a little bit better of a career, but at least Christian was able to become World Heavyweight Champion. That's all I can say. But yeah, I believe I think I know what his last match was, and I'll announce it later on. But it's kind of sad that Christian's retired, and they say that he would lay them out, but he wouldn't really be conquering them because their careers are already over. He wants to conquer John Cena. And says that in the final encounter between Lesnar and Cena, Lesnar's going to walk out victorious. And then John Cena comes out and says that he has a New Year's resolution and a gift. The New Year's resolution is he's going to beat Brock Lesnar and take the WWE World Heavyweight Championship from him. And the gift for Heyman, he goes to attack Heyman, but it was all to bait Lesnar in, so he would go to attack him, and Cena goes to give him the attitude adjustment, but Lesnar escapes, and Cena stands tall. So this was a nice build-up to the feud. Cena had to look strong since Lesnar laid him out a couple weeks ago, so I was fine with this. This was a great opening segment. Edge and Christian were really funny in this segment, too. And they do more stuff later on in the night. The first match was Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev with Lana. Decent match. Dolph Ziggler hit a drop kick and a jumping DDT, and Rusev kicked out of it. Rusev dominated him for a while. Ziggler tried to go for the super kick, but Rusev caught him and threw him face first down on the floor. And then he went to splash him in the corner. Rusev hit the steel post, and Ziggler hit the super kick. Rusev kicked out, and then Rusev just kept attacking Ziggler in the corner, which caused a DQ, but it's still not a loss because Rusev didn't get pinned or submitted. And he just keeps attacking Ziggler, and he gets him in the accolade in the ropes. And then Ryback comes out, lays out Rusev with a clothesline. And yeah, he sends Rusev packing, and that wasn't it. Ryback actually cut a promo. Um, he says that there's a lot of disconnect, but a lot that the WWE universe doesn't know about Ryback, and he was going to talk about it, and he actually talked about it for a while. Talked about how his first live event was 12 years ago when he was like the special guest timekeeper, and that's when he realized he wanted to be a wrestler. And then he said he got his tryout when he was in Tough Enough for $1 million contract, and he actually plays a clip of that when he used his real name, Ryan Reeves. He had a different name. He said something else. I don't remember what it is. And actually, The Miz was in there, which he was known now as Mike Mizanin. Well, then as Mike Mizanin, because that's his real name. And it showed Ryback getting voted off. And he said after that, he went into a depression. He didn't talk to his family for a year. He got a job at a barbecue. He would come home to an empty hotel room, and all he had to remember that he didn't succeed at his dream was old WrestleMania DVDs. And then he said he was just in a negative mood all the time. And I think he said too that everything that he worked so hard for was taken away from him. And then Ryback ended up also saying that he got this book called The Truth, I think it was. I forget what it was called, but it was this book that talked about, made his mind start to think in a positive way. And he came back to the WWE and went back into wrestling. And he made his debut again in the group called The Nexus. And then he plays the clip of The Nexus, which consisted of Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater, Darren Young, David Otunga, Skip Sheffield, which was Ryback. And they actually did show Ryback. He looks kind of strange. I wonder if it's because he's not wearing the same attire that he usually would. What else? It was, that's only 6. Well, Daniel Bryan was in that group too. And I'm missing someone. Oh, Michael Tava. And it showed him, the first night when they attacked John Cena. And he said that they made a big impact in the Nexus. But then in a live event, he ended up breaking his leg in 3 places. And he actually shows the skull. And he was told that he was never going to be able to wrestle again. But that motivated him and made him come back and made him want to be Ryback. So then it plays a video package of when he came in as Ryback. It only shows his stuff from really 2012 to 2013 when he was face. It doesn't show anything like when he was, when he turned heel or anything like that. Just when he was face, unstoppable, taking out everybody. And he says that this, war between this feud between him and Rusev isn't about USA versus Russia. It's about him just kicking Rusev's ass. And he said that Rusev has that negative energy, and he really doesn't want him, and he really doesn't want, and he's going to feed off that. He's going to feed that energy and eat it up. And then he does the Feed Me More chant. So this was actually a nice touch. I like to see the story of Ryback. It was actually awesome. Ryback actually isn't that, he did botch his promo a little, but he actually really isn't that bad on the mic. He actually has improved definitely from when he came in before, but I thought this was awesome stuff to get to hear the story of Ryback. And I actually think maybe using this story, maybe he will be the first one to beat Rusev at Mania or the Royal Rumble. Maybe he could be the Royal Rumble winner this year. They could have Ryback end Rusev's streak at the Royal Rumble. He has that fire. He can win the Royal Rumble match and then go on to face Brock Lesnar or John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. That would be awesome. There's actually maybe a kind of a bigger Ryback fan than I already was. And then we got Natalya with Tyson Kidd versus Nikki Bella with Brie Bella. This match was short, so I think you could have blinked in this. You missed this match. I think I did sort of blinked and missed it. I blinked. But Natalya knocks Nikki off the apron, and Tyson Kidd catches her so she doesn't fall, and I blinked actually, and I missed that part of the match. And the storyline is Tyson Kidd supposedly, has a crush on Nikki Bella, but we know that's probably not true because Nikki Bella's dating John Cena, so I don't really know what's going on there. And then Brie Bella gets pissed when he did that though. And then Natalya gets distracted by this, but Nikki Bella hits a forearm and the torture rack backbreaker for the win. I think Natalya probably should have won because then she can make the argument that she gets a Divas Championship match. But I guess this builds a story. It's a crappy story, but it is a story, I guess. And then The Miz and Damien Mizdow are backstage, and they're talking. And Naomi comes up and thanks him. And he's like, he doesn't know what she's talking about. She says that she called the guy that she told him to call. And he says that she liked the music video that she was in, and said that he wants to meet with her and talk about deals and stuff. And Miz was like, that's great, I always come through. She's like, well, no one ever thought you were going to come through, so I'm happy. And then Miz is like, then when she walks away, Miz acts like he doesn't know what he's talking about, so I don't know what's going on there. And then we get the next match. It was The Miz and Damien Mizdow defending the WWE Tag Team Championships against Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. Mainly just Miz wrestling the match. It was actually kind of a handicap match. The Usos just kind of worked over Miz, and Damien Mizdow was mimicking all the Miz's moves, doing everything he was doing, which I thought was fine. One thing is, like, I mean, they've done this before, but I like to mention it was the Usos did an atomic drop to Miz, and then Damien Mizdow went up off the turnbuckle and landed and sold the atomic drop. And then Jake Uso clotheslined him outside the ring, and then Damien Mizdow went outside the ring, and he looked like Jake Uso was laughing after this. I thought that was awesome. And then Jake dived on Miz, and then Miz dominated Jake Uso for a while, and then Jimmy or Jey Uso got the hot tag, went off on Miz for a little bit, and then Damien Mizdow tried to come in, but Jimmy or Jey Uso fought him off, and then it was just actually a one-on-one match. I actually know who it was. It was Jey Uso and Miz. Miz hit the DDT on Jey Uso. He kicked out. Miz got Jey Uso in the figure four. Jey Uso fought out of it. I think he went for it earlier too when Jey Uso rolled him up, but Miz kicked out. Jey Uso got Miz in a sick. No wait, this was Jimmy Uso actually. Jimmy Uso got Miz in a sick submission move. Miz got to the ropes. Jimmy Uso hit a super kick, and Jey Uso tried to go off the top and do the splash. Miz got the knees up and tried to roll up Jey and hit the Skull Crusher finale and tried to pin him off it, and Jey Uso kicked out, which I thought was awesome. I was actually shocked by that. And then both Usos super kicked Miz, and then Jimmy Uso went off the top, hit the splash, covered Miz. The only reason I know is Jimmy is because it made sense because of the storyline. It made sense because I know he made the pin because he's been screwing with Jimmy Uso's wife. Then afterwards, so we get new tag team champions. Though I was actually shocked, but I'm not really kind of too shocked because it makes sense. I mean, if you didn't have this, if you had this match kind of end strange, if Miz then it would be kind of stupid. So I'm actually glad the Usos won the titles. Jey the Killer interviews him and said that they're going to have a big barbecue, and Jimmy Uso says that the Miz tried to come in between family, and it didn't work, and we got him. And they're going to go celebrate now. I thought that was awesome, though. And then Cesaro's in the ring, and he's talking on the mic, and then he says that 2014 was supposed to be his year. He won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and he went nowhere from there. He went nowhere because Vince said that he can't connect with the audience, and he says he's right. I don't care about connecting with the audience. I don't care about pyro. I don't care about, pretty much all the stuff that the WWE has, like, the big entrances, all that stuff. All he cares about is wrestling. He doesn't care about the fans, nothing. And he says that no one back there can hold a candlestick to me. And I was thinking that maybe I'll start using Cesaro properly again. And then Bad News Barrett makes his return. I thought this was awesome. I think he's a face now, but I'm not really sure yet. But they have a match. It was a good match. Bad News Barrett. Well, it was a passable match, actually. I thought the match was going to be a squash, but it ended up being a pretty passable match. And Bad News Barrett kicks Cesaro through the ropes. And then Cesaro drops him chest first right on the barricade. Dominates him for a while. Hits the swing on Bad News Barrett. Eventually, Bad News Barrett gets to the ropes, and the referee gets distracted by something, and Bad News Barrett thumbs him in the eye, which was a heel move, and hits the bull hammer for the win, because he said, I got some bad news, he's going to get hit the bull hammer, and he did. So that was a kind of a heel-like move, so I don't know if Bad News Barrett is heel or face or not. Or maybe it's just, because that was a heel move to win that way. But I'm glad to see Bad News Barrett back, and it's awesome. I'm pretty pumped to see actually Bad News Barrett back. I'm not going to lie, it's awesome. I missed seeing this guy. I wouldn't really mind if he was a face. If he is a heel, I would like to see that feud he's going to have with Jack Swagger, since he's the one that took him out of action. Maybe turn Jack Swagger back to heel, though, and do maybe a program between Bad News Barrett and Jack Swagger, because since Swagger put him out, I think they should have a match. And then Luke Harper's backstage, and he says he doesn't understand why everyone's celebrating about the end of a year. He just says that he's just the worst nightmare. And then we get Jack Swagger versus Luke Harper. It was a solid match, actually. It wasn't a great match by any means, but it was solid. Luke Harper hit a drop kick. Swagger kicked out. He dominated Swagger for a while. Swagger fought back with a clothesline outside the ring. And then Luke Harper dominated Swagger. He threw him into the steps. Just kept dominating him pretty much throughout the entire match. Swagger hit comebacks. He would hit like the amateur background moves he likes to do, the clotheslines, the knees into the corner he likes to do. And then eventually he tried to go for, Luke Harper hit a super kick, Jack Swagger kicked out. He tried to go for the Swagger bomb. Luke Harper got the foot up and hit the clothesline for the win, and it looked like he got like spit on in his beard, which was pretty funny. But Luke Harper went over. I'm happy about this. I can dig that. I mean, I think they're gonna do more with Luke Harper than Jack Swagger, anyways. And then Edge, Christian, and John Cena were backstage. And Edge and John Cena are reliving like the feud, everything that's going on. And then Christian says something about it, and they look at him funny, and he's like, okay, yeah. And then John Cena thanks Edge for everything they did for his career, and he says he's one of the best people in the world. No one's ever this awesome. And they hug, and it was actually a pretty nice moment. It was thought that was awesome. So then we got Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins with J&J Security ringside with Big Show on commentary. Big Show is pretty much all for Seth Rollins in this match since they're buddy-buddy. He would give Coach Seth Rollins during the match, and he talked about how great Seth Rollins was and how Roman Reigns is just a flash in the pan. I thought that was awesome stuff. Roman Reigns hits the drop kick in the corner. Seth Rollins hit the drop kick through the ropes, and he dominates Roman Reigns for a while. Then Roman Reigns starts making a comeback, and hits power slam. How his power moves. Rollins hits an enziguri and tries to roll up Reigns, but he kicks out. And then hits a super kick. Reigns kicks out of that. Goes for a high knee. Reigns ducks. Hits the Superman punch. He's about to go for the spear. And if you don't know who J&J Security is, too, by the way, it's Jamie Noble and Joey Murphy. But he's about to go for the spear. Big Show gets off commentary, grabs Reigns' legs, pulls him right out, throws Reigns over the announce table, dumps the announce table, and his legs got caught under it, and then he dumps the whole thing right onto Reigns. And it was actually pretty cool stuff. And there was no announce table the rest of the night because it's night, but it was okay. This feud isn't bad. I think it's just a launching point to make Roman Reigns look strong. So then Seth Rollins, Big Show, and J&J Security were backstage, and they say that tonight they're going to have a special toast to end off the end of the year, and he's inviting John Cena to be a part of this toast when he goes on the Cutting Edge Peep Show. And then Bray Wyatt's backstage, and it cuts a weird promo. I kind of forget what he said. But he said like this, but this is, I think next week, in the first Raw of the year, we're going to get an ambulance match between Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. I think that's going to be awesome. And on SmackDown, I am going to actually check out SmackDown this week because we're going to get the Cutting Edge Peep Show again with Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt on it. There was no Dean Ambrose on this show this week. I didn't really think they needed to do anything because they've been on the shows a lot lately, so I think they deserved a nice break. At least Dean Ambrose did. So I thought this was fine. I can't wait to see the match next week. It should be awesome. And then all night they were hyping up that Daniel Bryan, he had made this tweet that in some point in their career everybody comes to a crossroads. And we're wondering what he's going to say. You think he's going to retire. It was kind of like Edge, where you didn't think it was going to be good. Like, everyone was when Edge's retirement. And I actually was thinking he was going to retire just because it would have been a nice coincidence if they had played Edge's retirement video. And Daniel Bryan ended up having to do the same thing. But he comes out, and he's doing the yes chant, and he says he likes coming out here and being a part of the fans. The fans are giving him support. He's supporting him when he won the title at Mania. And through everything, they have been his biggest supporters. And he said that when the week he won the title was the best week. He ended up marrying the love of his life. And but then when he came back 2 days later, his dad died, and it was actually pretty sad. And he said that he wasn't there for him because he was here wrestling. And then he said that he got a career-threatening injury, and the doctors didn't know what was wrong with him. They had to figure it out, and he's come to a crossroads because he had to see everything go down. He had to see the Dolph Ziggler put the Authority, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, out of power, and he wasn't there for that. He cheered the loudest, though, obviously reasons. And he said that he's wondering if it's worth it, if it's worth coming back. And he said yes. I was thinking he was going to retire, but he didn't. He said yes, it is worth he's coming back. And he said he's going to be back in the Royal Rumble match at the Royal Rumble. So that's awesome. I can't wait to see him come back. I don't really think this kills the surprise factor at all. It would have been nice if it was a surprise, but it was just in his hometown. He wanted to have this time, and it's not really going to ruin the fan reaction, because I think no matter how hot the fans are, no matter if it was a surprise or not, the fans are still going to really be behind Daniel Bryan. So there's another option that could win the Royal Rumble match. And the fans were really into this segment just because Daniel Bryan was in it. Like, when he was talking about how he was going to retire, they were always saying no. And then when he said he wasn't going to retire, everybody went ballistic. So I thought that was awesome that he's not going to retire. It's going to be nice to see Daniel Bryan back next year. And I hope he can at least hold that belt again. Maybe have, and get a nice run with it, because now he can finally have a nice run with the belt, unlike before, because he was off TV so often. Alright, so I actually don't know what match was next. Oh, Edge and Christian were backstage. And they were playing Christian was playing the kazoo to Daniel Bryan's music. And The Miz comes up and he's upset. And Christian's like, I can play it to your music too. And Edge is sitting on the lawn to the song. And The Miz says that he wants a rematch for the WWE Tag Team Championships tonight. And Edge agrees, and he actually had a puppet too that was like the stunt double, and he was talking as Edge was talking. It was like a dummy, and Miz, he agrees, but it's not for the titles, and he doesn't tell him who his opponents are. So if you can see where this is going, probably not, because they haven't said anything yet, and they're not happy about this. We get the match though. It was the Miz and Damien Mizdow. And they went up against the Ascension, Connor and Victor. The Ascension finally debuted. They were supposed to debut tonight, and they did. That is awesome. I'm glad to see the Ascension finally be on the main roster. They look completely different now. They are dressed like the Legion of Doom, which consisted of Hawk and Animal. They're dressed like them now. I think they look fine. And I think that's awesome, I think they deserve a little bit of a change-up than NXT, so I like that they're getting a little bit of a change-up. I'm glad that they're on the main roster. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with them on the main roster. I like to see them face the Usos for the WWE Tag Team titles at Mania. Maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe not, but we'll see. But it was a squash. They pretty much beat the crap out of the stunt double, hit the Fallen Man on him for the win. But I'm glad these guys are finally on the main roster, and it's awesome. I hope these guys succeed. And then Seth Rollins and J&J Security get interviewed, and now he invites Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman to come out for the toast. So I thought that was awesome. So next, the Cutting Edge Peep Show with Seth Rollins, hosted by Edge and Christian. And they call Seth Rollins a bunch of names, and they even call Christian even call him Mr. Weeks of Suckiness. And I think Edge said something else that was funny. I just don't remember what he said. Then Seth Rollins comes out and says, "Oh, I idolize you guys. You guys made me want to be a wrestler because of all your TLC matches you had and stuff." Pretty much bullshit. And Edge and Christian and Seth Rollins says that he had a great year, won Money in the Bank, was in the group with the Shield, being Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and he just says he had an awesome year. Edge, and he said no one had a better year than me, and they name us a bunch of names, and Edge named Slick, and then Christian says, because I think Christian would just name it, and then Christian says that he lied and cheated to all his friends. So then he wants to bring out John Cena, and he's waiting, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, John Cena," and Edge says, "Maybe you're not doing it right because you lack the charisma." And then he says, "I have way more charisma than you, Edge. And if I can't get John Cena to come out here, I'll have to find another way." Because he says he wants something from John Cena. He doesn't really want to make a toast. He wants something from him. And then he hits Christian with the case. And Edge is like, "What are you doing?" He actually brought out Big Show too before this had happened. And he has a face off, but Edge is outnumbered by the security and Big Show. And Big Show forces Edge down into the Money in the Bank, and he makes John Cena come out. Says that if you care about this guy, you will come out right now. Cena goes to come out. Seth Rollins says makes him stay right there. He'll curve stomp him right into the briefcase. He will do it too. Don't think he won't. And he says that if you want to save Edge, pretty much, you have to give me what I want. He wants the Authority back in power. And John Cena agrees. He says, "Okay, the Authority were back in power." And this was actually a great way to do it. He didn't have a choice because he would have hurt Edge's friends. He even said that Edge will never be able to. Edge is a husband and a father now, and if he gets put into a wheelchair, what's on you, he'll never be able to hold his kid again. So I thought this was a great heel move by Seth Rollins. And then afterwards, Seth Rollins says he's just going to do it anyway. So then Cena comes in and makes the save, fighting off Big Show and security and Rollins for a while, but then Big Show knocks him out, and Rollins hits the curve stomp, and they walk out. And then Lesnar and Heyman come out, and then the Authority, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon make their return. So now they're back running things again. Edge and Christian are supposed to run SmackDown. I think that might still happen, but I think by next week the Authority will be back in power. I wasn't expecting them to be back in power this soon, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit shocked they did this soon, but I guess you have to expect the unexpected. I expected not to see Triple H and Stephanie McMahon back in power back in power for a while, but back in the company until after Elimination Chamber. But I guess not. I guess they're putting them back in power. I don't know why, but I guess they are. But this was a great Raw. Everything was pretty spot on. The only thing that wasn't good was the Divas match. That's about it. I got to see Bad News Barrett return. Edge and Christian were great all night. The Ascension debuted. Usos versus Miz and Mizdow was a great match. It was actually the match of the night. What else? The Ascension debuted. Daniel Bryan and Bad News Barrett, got to see them, and they returned. I actually thought Randy Orton was going to return, like right when Cena was about to say they could come back, but no. So everything was just great. I thought everything was great all night, but that's pretty much it, guys. You can subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back for more content on this video sometime this week. Just great Raw, great final Raw of 2014. I don't think I would have changed it at all, except maybe the Divas match. But that's about it, so see you later.